Good evening. Wow, so good to see you all. Almost full the house. Bienvenue, bienvenidos. 欢迎 Hayao, Kui, Gerasi. Welcome everyone to this Central and Visions United joint Christmas Eve service. We gather on Christmas Eve to remember and to honor the birth of Christ, called Emmanuel, God with us. Born a homeless stranger in the unfamiliar place, far from family, from home, with no doctor in attendance, not even a midwife to help bring him into a troubled and hard world. It takes an extraordinary amount of preparation for an evening like this. So I'd like to share a few thank yous before we really get into things. For our music director, Martha Shaw, to Wayne Trill, Dave Taylor, and a company of others who have decorated this space, not only for Christmas, but for the whole season of Advent. A special thank you to Wayne and Marsh Mitchell for taking care of lighting this evening. And for Marsha and Wayne, who are the greeters. To our readers for the evening, Laura Whitney, Claire McWilliam, Seung Ying Song, and Marsha Trill. To our Advent wreath candle lighters, Anna Peters and Bill Peters. And the candelabras lighter, Michelle Hong. Thanks to the IT tech crew, Dave Lewis. And lastly, thank you for taking the time to join our gathering tonight. May this moment with friends and strangers give meaning to this holiday season and to all of the days to come. I introduce our host, Carol Scott.
Welcome, everyone. As we move into this time together, we first acknowledge where we are and who we are. We place a container of earth to remind us of where we are. In the Moncton region, people live, work, play, and assemble in one of the 7 districts of Mi'kma'ki, in the district called Nunavut. We acknowledge that these lands are the unceded ancestral homelands of the Mi'kmaq people. Wherever we live, may our relationship with the land and its people be grounded in peace and friendship. We light candles to acknowledge who we are. A rainbow candle is lighted, announcing that our collaborative, Central Sackville Visions, makes a safe place for all people to participate fully, regardless of age, gender, race, marital status, sexual orientation, gender identity, faith or no faith, ability, ethnicity, or socioeconomic circumstance. And this evening we are going to be reading from Matthew Fox's book, Naming the Unnameable. And tonight's reading, number 49, is God is Mother. The ancient Vedas of India call God motherliest, and the 4th century English mystic Julian of Norwich developed the motherhood of God in a profound way. She writes, God feels great delight to be our mother. The deep wisdom of the Trinity is our mother. In her we are all enclosed. Indeed, God is our true mother in whom we are endlessly carried and out of whom we will never come. Again, just as God is truly our Father, so also is God truly our mother. God is the true Father and Mother of nature. Ramakrishna teaches about the Divine Mother. Whatever we see or think about is the manifestation of the Mother, of the primordial energy, the primal consciousness. The primordial power is ever at play. She is creating, preserving, and destroying in play, as it were, and he advises us to pray to the Divine Mother with a longing heart. Her vision dries up all craving and completely destroys all attachment. The Tao Te Ching calls the Tao the Great Mother of the universe. Our first gathering carol is Carol of the Refuge Children to the tune of Away in a Manger.
Do not be afraid, for see, I am bringing you good news of great joy for all the people.
What gifts does Jesus bring to the new world?
Jesus brings hope for the future. river. Everlasting joy and love for all.
Christmas is the beginning of this new world, a better world, that we are boldly invited to create together as followers of the Christ child.
May it be so.
Amen.
When the nights are long and the days are short, we light Christmas candelabras to mark the turning point where the shortest days gives way to gradually lengthening days and returning lights. Lit at the Christmas Eve gathering, they are also bearing witness to the passage of another year. As Michelle and Wayne relight the Christmas candelabras, we will sing our familiar old carol that celebrates the light. Come thy Son in a waiting soul, tender thy heart.
It is Christmas Eve again, and if we are lucky, we will find the wonder reminding us that long ago, in a small, out-of-the-way country of no great importance, under the occupation of a hostile foreign power, divine mystery came to earth, incarnate in the face and form of a child born in poverty. Help us recognize you today in the faces of those we find hard to love, in the homeless who sleep rough, and in those who do whatever they have to do for survival, and in those who the world has deemed to be without value. The time is here. We greet you in the thin place that is December 24th, in a hovel meant to house cattle and sheep, where, exhausted, your mother slept while you rested in your father's arms. We have waited and prepared, opening ourselves to the wonder of Jesus, as we hear again, as if for the first time, the story of Christmas. And Laura is going to read from Luke 2, verses 1 to 7, the story of Mary and Joseph.
In those days, a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be registered. This was the first registration and was taken while Quirinius was governor of Syria. All went to their own towns to be registered. Joseph also went from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea, to the city of David called Bethlehem, because he was descended from the house and family of David. He went to be registered with Mary, to whom he was engaged and who was expecting a child. While they were there, the time came for her to deliver her child. And she gave birth to her firstborn son, and wrapped him in bands of cloth, and laid him in a manger, because there was no place in the guest room.
Mary, Joseph, long ago in occupied Palestine, a pregnant young woman and her faithful fiancé, forced to travel a long, dusty road to satisfy the laws of taxation by a foreign occupying power. There's not much that could be done to resist such a decree, not wanting to draw attention to themselves, since their own cultural and religious laws were also threatening to cause the young couple to dodge curious questions and potential danger even from their own people. It doesn't take much imagination to link Luke's nativity story to the reality of Palestinian people today, living under brutal occupation, especially when some of their safety and security is tied to potential threats from neighbors who have been brainwashed that indeed they aren't the chosen people, but they are in fact terrorists. Can this be so, given how international medics and international workers have called Palestinians the most hospitable people? Modern-day journalists and aid workers have documented how many times the Palestinians of Gaza have been told to relocate, to take whatever is useful or precious of their possessions, and to move to a safe zone, and then another, and then another. After several more evacuations, they're able to carry less and less with them. Bombs have destroyed homes into rubble, and the flimsy tents that many of them are currently living in are inadequate against the harsh winter winds and the flooding rains. Many have died along the way of hunger, disease, and relentless sniper attacks, even after a ceasefire had been signed. In Luke's nativity, the very pregnant Mary and her steadfast betrothed Joseph were trying to follow orders and make the long trek to the town where the census was being taken. But there was no room for them in the inns or the guest houses of Bethlehem. Perhaps modern-day Palestinians have a similar feeling when their visa applications to emigrate to Canada take an inordinate length of time. And even when all the requirements are followed, applications seem to sit on shelves or desks of Canadian bureaucrats, unprocessed. And all the time, they're well aware that Canada has been able to arrange exits for others living in conflict zones, such as from the Ukraine, or years ago from Vietnam. The discrepancy must feel like another no room at the inn scenario. What sustained Mary and Joseph that night long ago when Mary went into labor in a stable? Perhaps it was their belief that the future hope for peace resides with the children who are being born, as well as their own belief in freedom and resiliency as parents. Mary spoke of justice when she was staying with her cousin Elizabeth. The powerful words that she spoke is now called the Magnificat. And the words such as, "He has brought down the powerful from their thrones and lifted the lowly and has given the hungry and filled the hungry with good things and sent the rich empty away." Recognition of the reality of living under occupation can lead to resentment, or it can lead to resiliency. It seems that Jesus grew up in a household with parents who believed in resiliency. Many of today's Palestinian community in the diaspora also show such belief in such an attitude, that we are not reticent to reach out to activists like Greta Thunberg, Jewish Voices for Peace, and people like you and me. Together we can live out the wonder and miracle of the night that Jesus was born, simply by speaking truth to power and to accepting that the brutality of the status quo imposed on others by the occupiers is not what we believe in. Let's return again and again to the belief spoken aloud in Mary's Magnificat and ensure that we will not accept any politician's wishy-washy statement that there is no room in the inn for Palestinians. Let our alleluias ring with joy and determination and welcome the birth of peace.
For spirit fire burns deep. I'll be reading from Luke 2, verses 8 to 20, and it's about the shepherds and the child. In that region, there were shepherds living in the fields, keeping watch over their flock by night. Then an angel of the Lord stood before them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid. For see, I am bringing you good news of great joy for all the people. To you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, who is the Messiah, the Lord. This will be a sign for you. You will find a child wrapped in bands of cloth and lying in a manger." And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly hosts, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest heaven, and on earth peace among those whom he favors." When the angels had left them and gone into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, "Let us go now to Bethlehem and see this thing that has taken place, which the Lord has made known to us." So they went with haste and found Mary and Joseph and the child lying in the manger. When they saw this, they made known what had been told them about this child, and all who heard it were amazed at what the shepherds told them. But Mary treasured all these words and pondered them in her heart. The shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all they had heard and seen, as it had been told them.
I read this written by Gary MacDonald, a member of Sackville United Church. From the year 1993 until 2011, it was my privilege to serve as an English teacher in the country of China. I was appointed to this work through the Overseas Mission Program of the United Church of Canada. Here in Canada, we gather once again this Christmas Eve to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. So it is with Christians in many countries of the world, including far away China. However, there's a difference. Christianity in China has long faced government control and suspicion. In this year of 2025, despite the continued and resilient growth of Christianity in China, especially among younger generations, the Christian church faces government-imposed restrictions. All religious affiliation in China are required to seek approval from the government before conducting any activities. Under this regulation, the organization of any program faced great difficulty. This is especially true for a church seeking to provide for children and youth. Despite all this, the Christian church in China continues to grow. During my years in China, I regularly attended the local church services in my community. I recall the fact that if I wanted to get a seat inside the church, I would have to arrive a half hour before the service began, as the church would already be filled beyond the capacity with worshippers. I remember the joy singing the earnest prayers and the vibrant preaching. During the Cultural Revolution in China from 1966 to 1976, the practice of any religion was forbidden in China. Most people, in fear for their lives and the lives of their families, left churches and temples. Yet there were those who refused to give up their faith during those years. Many of those people were imprisoned and tortured. When I lived in China, I knew men and women who could no longer walk, those who could no longer see, and others who had been tortured in other ways during the Cultural Revolution because of their faith. These people held on to a faith that could not be shaken. Today in China, the faithful still gather on this Christmas night. All know that they do so under certain risk. What do they risk? Maybe nothing. Maybe having restrictions on their personal lives or employment. Perhaps the future education of their children may be affected in some way. Perhaps the church building in which they worship this Christmas will be destroyed by the government. To participate in any visible act that demonstrates your faith is to put yourself at risk. Attending a church service on Christmas Eve is one of those acts. However, it is certain that this Christmas in 2025, the faithful in China filled their churches to overflowing. This night, as we gather here in this church, may we remember the faithful of China. Likewise, Christians in countries such as Iraq, Afghanistan, Somalia, Libya, Pakistan, and North Korea, where this night, Christians, if they dare to mark the birth of Jesus Christ, they do so at great risk.
Jesus dwelleth as the people forth your light to be. Send us out good news to sing. Oh, peace, joy, and love to bring. Loving courage with us dwell. Come, O come, Emmanuel. Come, Lord Jesus, don't delay. Shine your hope through us this day. Jesus, dwell with us that we may go forth your light to be.
We have heard Luke's Christmas story, but the story of Jesus' birth did not stop there. Let us hear from the Gospel of Matthew about what happened when Jesus was born. The reading is taken from chapter 2, verses 13 to 18. When the Magi had gone, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream. "Get up," he said. "Take the child and his mother and escape to Egypt. Stay there until I tell you, for Herod is going to search for the child to kill him." So he got up, took the child and his mother during the night, and left for Egypt, where he stayed until the death of Herod. And so was fulfilled what the Lord had said through the prophet, "Out of Egypt I called my son." When Herod realized that he had been outwitted by the Magi, he was furious, and he gave orders to kill all the boys in Bethlehem and its vicinity who were 2 years old and under, in accordance with the time he had learned from the Magi. Then what was said through the prophet Jeremiah was fulfilled. "A voice is heard in Ramah, weeping and great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children and refusing to be comforted because they are no more."
We are all being overwhelmed with heartbreaking stories of people being detained by ICE and deported. Mothers and fathers torn from their children. Lives disrupted, communities shattered. Sonia Paris is a 30-year-old mother of two. She has lived in the United States since she was 2 months old. For years, she worked and raised her family under the protections of DACA. But U.S. immigration policy has changed, made the process of renewal nearly impossible. Families like Sonia's have been pushed into corners. In Sonia's case, a traffic violation led to a missed court appearance. A warrant was issued for her arrest, and she was detained in November. When her family paid the bond and arrived at the jail to bring her home, ICE had already taken her. She vanished into the system. Her story is one among thousands, but each one matters deeply. These are not violent criminals. These are neighbors, co-workers, classmates, parents at the Parent-Teacher Association, teenagers in the youth group, fellow citizens of a shared hope. Since the U.S. administration began the largest mass deportation operation in American history, including the recent racist deportation of Somali refugees, ICE arrests have doubled, and the number of people in detention is at all-time high. This includes hundreds of immigrant children who were detained longer than a court-mandated limit. Close to home, we are also making an indelible mark in the 2024-25 fiscal year. Canada has spent more than $78 million deporting over 18,000 people, the highest level of deportation since 2012. Most individuals who were deported were people seeking asylum after their refugee applications were turned down. Migrant workers are increasingly bearing the brunt of policies and actions from the government's tightening approach to migration and labor. Since the beginning of 2025, the Canada Border Services Agency has conducted multiple workplace raids, from landscaping companies to hospitality establishments. While tens of thousands of migrant agriculture workers are the backbone of Canada's food system, they remain among the most precarious workers, excluded from full labor protections, tied to employer-specific permits, and often unable to speak up without risking their jobs or status. All these systems of cruelty and injustice make exactly the right time for us to consider the passage in Matthew where Jesus becomes, with his parents, a refuge. The story of Christ child begins with a refugee family fleeing state violence, carrying divine hope across a border at night. To practice Advent and Christmas is to stand with every mother and father who still does the same. Please join with me in prayer. We hold in our hearts, all of us who participate in the human story. We hold in our love all that has been in creation. We light candles as a symbol of the flame that sustains us. For the leaders of this world, may they be guided by sacred trust and not their own power. Light, love's pure light. For the citizens of the nations of this earth, may we be guided by equality and the common good. Light of Christ, love's pure light. For the parents in our lives, may they be guided by humility, responsibility, and patience. Light of Christ, love, pure light. For the children in our lives, may they be guided by love, trust, and possibility. Light of Christ, love's pure light. For the unsheltered and the unprotected, may they be guided by a sense of possibility and a kindness for strangers. Light of Christ, love's pure light. For the innkeepers, workers, and the shelter makers and the givers, may they be guided by a sense of gratitude and hospitality. Light of Christ, love's pure light. For the shepherds, may they be guided by a calm vigilance and adventurous assurance. Light of Christ, love's pure light. For the flora and the fauna of all creation, may you be guided by a sustainable power and a movement towards redemption. Light of Christ, love's pure light. For the messengers of the sacred, may all be guided by wonder and inspiration. Light of Christ, love's pure light. For all in whom Jesus' love is born today, may we treasure and ponder what we have learned today, and may we give thanks for all we hear and see this day and every day. Light of Christ, love's pure light. Where's the tape? Where's the tape? don't have it. The moment has come. Our feet have brought us close to the place where love is born.
Our hearts are filled with trembling hopes for the future of the world.
Surely, Jesus has come and has found a place for his birthing.
Dawn in our darkness, sing through our silence, surprise us with wonder and with joy this holy season.
Wish you all a Christmas full of joy, peace, love, and hope. And a better new year. Merry Christmas to you all. You will be provided with a receptacle for the candles.